We are all suffering, and we are all grieving, and we all have questions that I am confident our law enforcement officers will provide in due time. I call on our national leaders, state leaders, and local leaders to join us as we stand together to ensure this does not continue in our schools, community, state, and nation. Let's work together to ensure that we create systems where our educators in our schools can focus on teaching and learning, where we can inspire children so that they are able to reach their full potential, where we can help build young athletes, actors, musicians, artists, engineers, teachers, or whatever their chosen life path may be, and so that we can guide them to follow their dreams. On behalf of our Santa Fe Independent School District Board and Administration, we are extremely appreciative of the outpouring of support from our federal, state, and local officials and agencies, and also for the multiple students and schools reaching out from across the state, country, and world. Finally, we have a very long road ahead of us, but together, with your help, we know we will be Santa Fe strong. Thank you all very much.
Good afternoon. There are no words that can express the overwhelming grief of this horrific event, but we are committed to ensuring that all our students, families, and staff receive the care and support they need during this tragic situation. We have had an overwhelming amount of support from across the country, from public figures, community members, and organizations reaching out to help with funerals, food, and counseling. We have had companies working together to make travel arrangements for extended families. We also appreciate all the prayers that are being offered from across the nation. While we are anxious to have our students back in our schools, we realize that there are students, staff, and families who need time for grieving and mourning. Therefore, the schedule for Santa Fe ISD for the remainder of the year is as follows. All teachers and support staff will return on Wednesday, May 23rd. All students will return to school on Tuesday, May 29th at their regularly scheduled start times. The high school students should expect additional information from the high school staff regarding a reunification plan for all students. We also have mental health support available throughout the district for students, staff, and faculty for as long as there is a need, including a special toll-free crisis hotline, which you can see is displayed on our website banner. Additional counseling resources available include critical incident stress management teams on site to work with students, faculty, and staff, and first responders. Counseling will be available for those who have been impacted at Aldersgate United Methodist Church in Santa Fe through Thursday, May 24th during the hours of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And finally, additional community mental health resources will be available through the district's website. We want our staff, parents, and community, as well as everyone who is needing information, to know that they can go to the Santa Fe ISD website, where a special interactive web portal has been created to address your needs, the latest information regarding the district, questions you might have, a calendar, available resources, and lastly, where to make donations. Our district leadership, campus administrators, students, staff, and parents have been eager to help our families recover from this devastating event. We will be forever indebted to these individuals who have stepped up to help. More importantly, I maintain that Indian pride as I see so many in our Santa Fe ISD community doing so much for so many in need. I am proud, as I'm sure some of you are, to work in a district and live in a community that takes care of one another. We are Santa Fe strong. At this time, we ask our media partners to please be respectful of our staff, students, and community as we work through this tragedy. The district does not have any plans for additional press conferences at this time. However, they will be scheduled as needed. Our hope is that you respect our wishes and respect our families while we continue the grieving, mourning, and healing process. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mayor-elect Jason Tabor.
The city is working directly with the school as well as the county emergency response team. We are constantly updating our website as well as social media and our Blackboard Connect. As we are all healing from these horrific times, please be respectful to all the families and of the victims. Remember, we are all in this together. We are hurt but not broken. We are definitely resilient. Continue to pray for us and please keep showering us with love. We are Santa Fe strong.
And now, Kathleen McCumber, representing the Tisdale family.
Good afternoon. I will be reading a statement prepared by Officer Tisdale. Reese Tisdale is the eldest son of Cynthia Tisdale. He's been contacted by numerous media and was just not in the presence to make a statement, but he did write a statement and asked me to read it, so I will read it as he is written here today. To all, on behalf of William Reese Tisdale Sr. and Cynthia Tisdale, my name is Reese Tisdale Jr., and I am the eldest son of Cynthia. I am writing this to honor the life and memory of my mother. Where do I start? My mom would have been 64 next week. She married my father at 17 years of age, and they have been married for 46 years. I have two siblings, Joseph and Autumn Tisdale. She also has a stepdaughter, Shannon McCoy, and 11 grandchildren. Cynthia made it a point to stay at home most of our childhood to raise us while my father worked and ministered at a Baptist church. As we got older, my mother decided to enter the job market. She worked different jobs throughout her life until my father started his own business. A few years ago, my father became ill and has recently required full-time assistance, so my mother also filled that role. She has cared for my father every day of their lives, not to mention keeping up with a bunch of grandchildren. During the past year, she even found time to attend physical therapy most weeks with my eldest daughter following a terrible accident. Her support, love, and encouragement are part of the reason my daughter is walking again. This past year, Cynthia enjoyed helping others so much she decided to go to work as a substitute teacher at Santa Fe High School working with special needs kids. My youngest daughter attends high school there, and my wife Jennifer also works for Santa Fe ISD. As such, the community of Santa Fe is a large part of our lives. She worked at the school not out of necessity, but for the love of teaching and helping others. To know my mom was to know a person who lived to help those in need. We loved our mother very much. Grammy, you will be missed. The day of this senseless event, my mother left for work in the morning. My family and I lived 10 minutes from the school. I was off duty on that Friday. My friend and coworker notified me of a school shooting because my child attends school there. Because it was Friday, my daughter had late arrival and thankfully was still home. She often met with her grandmother in the mornings. Being a police detective, I immediately gathered my gear and responded to the school to help those in need. Upon my arrival, I was met by several other of my League City Police brethren. We all assisted the best that we could, along with all of the other brave men and women. The shooting had just been neutralized prior to my arrival. Once the scene was somewhat secure, I was contacted by my father, who could not reach my mom. I knew that 2 female teachers had been killed along with several students. Not long thereafter, I determined that one of the teachers was probably my mother. It was very hard to go from assisting others to being horribly affected by this tragic event. There are no words to explain how saddened my entire family is for everyone involved. Our prayers and thoughts are with everyone affected. Visitation for Miss Tisdale will be at Bay Area Christian this Thursday from 5 to 8. The funeral is at 11 a.m. on Friday. That's Bay Area Christian Church in League City. And the Tisdale family asked that in lieu of any flowers, that donations be made to Bay Area Christian Church in League City. Thank you.
Next, you will hear from our Santa Fe ISD Police Chief, Walter Braun.
Good afternoon. The investigation of the tragic shooting inside of Santa Fe High School continues and will for some time. The FBI is leading the joint criminal investigation at my request. The FBI is working closely and collaboratively with all local, state, and federal partners to investigate the incident. Since the matter is ongoing, there are details about the shooting that cannot be publicly addressed at this time. However, anyone that has information about the school shooting is asked to please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Now to our Santa Fe ISD school community. Please listen to me because I'm talking directly to you now. Objective criminal investigations of this magnitude are complex, arduous, as well as time-consuming. Considerable time must be taken to painstakingly separate fact from fiction, the truth from rumors. So I'm asking our Santa Fe school family not to rely on local social media outlets as a source of factual information. Treat information relating to this tragedy that's obtained from network law enforcement and security analysts as speculative only. For these individuals, most of which are highly respected and experienced in the field of law enforcement, they are not privy to any of the details pertaining to this specific investigation. Once our students return to school, we'll be providing additional security at all campuses with the assistance of the Texas DPS as well as other local law enforcement agencies. At this time, will be followed by our County Sheriff, Henry Trossett.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. This tragedy in this community touches home more than you'd imagine. And there's a lot of rumors out there, as the Chief said. So we'll see if we can't cut one of them out that so many, even in our community, are trying to figure out. The heroes from that ISD engaged this individual at approximately 4 minutes and stayed engaged with him, keeping him contained and engaged so the other heroes that continued to arrive could evacuate the teachers, the administrators, and the students from this school. And it continued until that subject was placed into custody, where sweeps were continued to occur on the school grounds. Right now, he's in the Galveston County Jail under suicide watch and there for capital murder. 17 years old. Some of the individuals in our community had issues with the times that it took for us to give the information to the parents. As we all know, process of elimination fairly quickly makes it known that their student isn't with them. But until that school was deemed safe, no one was able to enter to identify those individuals. And that's the timeline that it took, because it aggravated me too. I was troubled by it. My wife went to Santa Fe. My children go to Santa Fe. My grandchildren go to Santa Fe. I live in this community. My granddaughter was 3 doors down from where this occurred in that school. Anybody wants to hear their heart stop and see how long they cannot breathe? Wait till that phone call comes in. Until you know they're safe. And her best friend that spent the night at my house, swam in my pool, is dead from a tragedy. Did it hit home? It did. This is a very tight-knit community. I've known these individuals almost my entire life. Many of the individuals here